What's going on, y'all? We are back with another mock draft. Took me a couple days to get enough time in order to do a mock draft over here on YouTube, but we officially have the time. And today I got a two-rounder with trades for y'all. This isn't pre-recorded. I don't even know what trades I'm going to do, but just stay tuned and it should be a good one. Let's go ahead and get started here with the number one overall pick, and that is obviously going to be Fernando Mendoza. There's no question about it and it's not going to change. So just get used to it. And Raider fans, I guess in the comments, let me know on a level 1 to 10 how excited you are for Fernando Mendoza being your next, hopefully, franchise quarterback. Number two for the New York Jets, to me, Arvell Reese is running away with this. He did have his pro day today, so that was cool to see him on the field. A lot of people are overdoing the whole, oh, look at his bin, look at his bin. I mean, the dude was a linebacker his whole entire life. So it's like it's going to take a while to get those elite edge rusher traits this early on. But yeah, I mean, he's still a freak athlete. The dude is built. He's strong. He's a great run defender. I don't get what they're trying to blow out of proportion here, and I guess stir up a storyline of, oh, look, maybe it's Bailey. Look, maybe it could be Ruben Bain. I think it should be Ruben Bain personally. I think he's the second best player or the best edge rusher in the draft, and probably the best option for the Jets at two. But yeah, Arvell Reese is probably the most likely option in my opinion. All right, number three for the Arizona Cardinals. I don't know if your franchise quarterback will be Ty Simpson via a trade up. Maybe it's at 34. Maybe it's Garrett Nussmeier at 65. Maybe it's someone next year. Hell, maybe Jacoby Brissett takes the Geno Smith route and just balls out all year long, and he looks like something. Either way, the right side of the offensive line is terrible. I'm going to change that here, third overall, and go France Noah. I don't know if there's prospect fatigue here. I'm seeing some Cardinal fans a little upset about the idea of Maui Noah. I don't know why. I think he's the best overall offensive lineman in the entire draft class. He's by far the best tackle in my opinion. And yeah, I mean, I don't think three is too crazy when he's the best lineman in the class. And I have a top 10 grade on him. So yeah, I would be happy if I was a Cardinal fan, but sounds like some of y'all might not be. Number four for the Tennessee Titans. What do we want to do here? Jeremiah Love is the popular pick. He's the fun pick. He's everyone's happy pick. I think David Bailey could be a sneaky option for number four. If you look at what Robert Saleh has drafted in his time in New York, he took Jermaine Johnson and Will McDonald both in the first round. I think David Bailey has some similarities to those guys. I mean, he's built like both of the guys around that like 250, 255 weight range. He's like 6'3 or 6'4 like both those guys. He's a great pass rusher like both of those guys. And like, man, Femi Oladipo was not drafted by this new staff that came in, nor did he have an impact last year in his first year in Tennessee. Jermaine Johnson's on a 1 year fifth option contract. I think David Bailey certainly could be the fourth overall pick based on how Robert Saleh tends to like his edge rushers and the overall need at edge. I can get a good playmaker potentially at 35 for Cam Ward, or I can trade up for one, but can't get a David Bailey in that range. But you can't get a Jeremiah Love either. So that's why it's a two-sided argument, and I understand both sides. Today it's going to be Bailey, though. Number five for the New York Giants. I think this is the first real spot you could see a trade. I guess potentially the Titans. I doubt it. But yeah, the Giants don't have a third round pick. That could be an issue. They do have three six-round picks. It looks like no seventh. It's not terrible draft capital, but it definitely could be better. Like you're probably looking for a wide receiver, some interior offensive line competition. You could use another defense tackle. You could use another starting linebacker. You could use another player in the secondary. You have a good bit of needs on this team, in my opinion. So it's like I'm not going Jeremiah Love. I don't think someone's going to trade up this far. Like the Vikings, 18-5. That is extremely rich. The Commanders don't have the capital, nor do I think you'd see an in division trade to give Jeremiah Love to the Commanders. But then again, I mean, the Cowboys gave the Eagles Devontae Smith, which they got Micah Parsons, so they won it. But then kind of lost it by their later trade, but that's besides the point. What do we want to do here? I want to talk to the Saints. Saints don't have great draft capital either, not having their fourth round pick because of Devon Vele. Like, it's not bad though. Give up pick 73, and like I said, not pre-recorded, so if you want, you can skip forward a couple seconds, maybe 30 seconds. I'll be done because, like I said, I'm doing this live. With two third-round picks to get this done, I think in the top five, probably not. You're probably going to have to give up a second-round pick. I can't really say I'm willing to do that. Chiefs, on the other hand, I think I am because I have two first round picks. I can give up pick 40. I have an extra third round pick next year. I think this would do it to move up four spots. It's not like it's for a quarterback or anything. The Giants pick up another top 40 pick and a third round pick next year that they could use. I think that will be the trade. And yes, I understand potentially I could lose Sonny Styles or Cardinal Tate by making this move. I'm willing to find out. The Chiefs, though, are going to move up to get an elite pass rusher. Arvell Reese and David Bailey already off the board, so you know it's Ruben Bain. Ruben Bain's a phenomenal player. I think Ruben Bain might have the most prospect fatigue in the class in terms of people are just looking at reasons to push him down the board. Oh, his arms are a little short. Oh, like I mean, that's really the only thing they can come up. Oh, he's not the greatest athlete. He is a dominant pass rusher. He has a ton of power in his game. He has good bend, and he's a great run defender. To me, and considering the size and how he's built, that's a Spags edge rusher. I would go up if I was the Chiefs and get my guy. If I lose the 40th overall pick in my own third next year when I have an extra third next year, so be it. So be it. I'd rather have Ruben Bain than those two picks. All right, number six for the Cleveland Browns. This, I think there's three options. It's either Spencer Fano or Monroe Freeling. You need a left tackle. Both of them have both tackle flexibility. So does Titus Howard. So you're really just going to take the best overall tackle. I think Monroe Freeling is probably a better fit for the Browns. Or you can get a playmaker with Cardinal Tate for Shador Sanders in this offense that really needs it. I mean, you got Judkins, you got Harold Fannin, and I don't really know how I feel about Jerry Judy. So we are going to help Shador Sanders here and grab Cardinal Tate out of Ohio State, sixth overall. Number seven for the Commanders. If a offer came across you that was good enough, I would move out of this pick regardless of Jeremiah Love. And I get that's crazy because most of us kind of feel like this is Love's floor. Maybe he can fall past the top seven, though, because the Commanders really could use some draft capital. The Rams is a team I'd get excited for. The Cowboys, I would be thrilled to make this deal. The Cowboys just, it's going to be a very expensive price considering how your draft capital is built. The Dolphins, I don't see a reason to do so. Buccaneers for Sonny Styles. I mean, that's a hell of a move up, but to me, it's probably worth it. So I guess it comes down to where do the Commanders move. I don't think they want to help the Cowboys get a top three player in the draft here. The Rams is a team like the Rams are known for giving up draft capital. So if it was like 1361, and I mean, these late picks suck. So maybe it's like give us 187 Washington, then we'll send you back 232. So you move 232 up almost 50 spots. You lose your second. It's like, damn, do I really want to be without a second and third? Because that's going to be the price. I think that's too expensive. So I don't think the Commanders. I guess I can talk to the Bucks, but it's going to be even more expensive. Tampa's going to have to give like 1546, which I guess is fine. Like I wouldn't lose sleep over it not having the second round pick. And then it's probably another second round pick. Do I want to do that? And do Bucks get this ballsy when they're so close to a regime change? I don't think they do. The Commanders are going to stick and pick here and go best player available. And to me, I mean, to me personally, Jeremiah Love's actually the third best player because my overall number one player, number two, and number three were available there. The other two being Styles and Downs. But best offensive player in the draft at seven because that offense isn't good. Rashad White, cool. He got like a 2 year deal worth 5 or 6 million a year. I don't care. JCM was what a sixth, seventh round pick last year. Really only had two or three good games. Don't care. Jeremiah Love can be a superstar on the offense, and David Blau spent a good bit of time in Detroit with Jameer Gibbs and David Montgomery, so he knows how valuable a great run game is. All right, number eight for the New Orleans Saints. Dude, this is your last chance to get in front of the Giants for Sonny Styles. Like once the pick is in here, like the window has now closed. I really want to do it for the Rams. Like Omar Spates is a decent football player. Nate Landman's a good starter. But like Sonny Styles can be a superstar and elevate that defense so much in the middle. But like I need a wide receiver. And if I part ways with that second, then you now don't have a second or a third, I believe. That's rough. I mean, that really is rough. I think the Cowboys might. I mean, I'm not trying to go too crazy because at this point it would be two trades in the top 10, which is it has happened multiple times. So I guess it's not the most unrealistic thing. But it's like if you're the Cowboys, like all you got to do probably is move 20 back to 42, which I think isn't that bad in all honesty in this type of draft. I don't think it's a big talent gap. And then maybe give like 112 as well to the Saints. Like that's not bad. You move your first back to a mid second, and then you give up a fourth round pick. I think I would do this for both sides, honestly. So we're going to go ahead and send this bad boy through, and the Cowboys are going to jump in front of their division rival, New York Giants, and take Sonny Styles right in front of them to just give a big old fuck you to the Giants. He's ours now. You shouldn't have traded. And I think that's realistic. I mean, it's definitely a risk of doing that trade for the Giants. Like, yeah, it's cool to get the second round pick and a future pick, but like if Cardinal Tate and Sonny Styles go off the board, like well, like, what do you do now? Like, what are you looking at? Jeremiah Love as well. Like, those are the three players you're probably considering. So it's like, where do you even go now? Cowboys, I think that's a great trade. The Saints, I wasn't going to take Sonny Styles or Caleb down. So to get my second moved up to the first round and get a fourth round pick, I think that's also a win. Where do I want to go? I could add the interior line talent with Spencer Fano. He can contend for a guard spot. I don't know if you see a true tackle be taken to move into guard in the top 10. That feels a little risky, in my opinion. Caleb Downs is a great football player. Like, he definitely is. So I'm definitely considering Downs as well to just upgrade the safety room. Like, Javon Allen was okay last year. Tyler Nubin hasn't been good. Ardarius Washington's depth Elijah Campbell's depth, Jason Pinnock's depth. Like Caleb Downs is a game changer. Like, yeah, there's no Makai Lemon. I don't know if I love the fit, and I don't really think he's going to be a top 10 pick. It's a tough pick. I think we are going to go Caleb Downs, though, for the New York Giants. It's been a while since I've done this for the Giants, but when you trade down, like I said, my favorite options tend to go off the board because of potential trade ups and just teams needing those players. But Caleb Downs is arguably the best player in the class. So if that's who you got to pick ninth overall to improve your safety room, which is one of the most valuable positions on the team for a John Harbaugh led football team, I think that's perfectly fine. All right, Tim for the Bengals. The Bengals probably hate that that just happened because Sonny Styles made sense for them, and so did Caleb Downs. I think 10 is fine, though, because you lost Cam Taylor Britt. You need another starter at corner. Mansour Delane looked really good at his pro day, and what was better than his pro day was his 2025 season, where he was elite on the boundary for LSU all year long. Some people have tried to make out like size concerns about him. I'm not buying that at all. He's a great football player, and your team should not pass on him, in my opinion. All right, number 11 for my Miami Dolphins, fins up. I really haven't played around much with the idea of Makai Lemon, which it might sound crazy and oh, you're an idiot. You need wide receiver. We need everything. Our whole team sucks. Mansour Delane's not here. Caleb Downs isn't here. I'm probably not going secondary. Don't want to run the risk with Jermod McCoy. Spencer Fonda makes a lot of sense, and he feels like a very Packers general manager esque pick, considering who our new GM now is, John Eric Sullivan. Like they tend to take tackles, they either sit for a year or they'll put them inside and play them all around until a tackle spot opens up. They literally do it all the time. Jordan Morgan, Anthony Belton, they did it with Zach Tom. It's just what they do. So I think Spencer Fano probably makes a lot of sense here at 11. He can start at right guard in 2026 and be your long term right tackle after Austin Jackson, probably in 2027. All right, 12 for the New Orleans Saints. This is going to be an interesting pick. Jermod McCoy did post a video on social media, and he looked pretty healthy, in my opinion. He's moving very good. I don't think he's going to miss camp and all that. It's just like, are you scared about him not playing for a full season potentially? I guess you could be. I don't know. It's definitely a interesting spot for the Saints. You also now have the 20th pick, so we got to keep that in mind. Um, People love the Makai Lemon pick, like I said. I don't know. Like it's a good slot receiver, I understand that, but I'm kind of looking for more speed and size on the offense. So yeah, I mean, you don't really give me what I'm looking for in all honesty. So where could we go? It's got to be defense, right? Like I know people won't like it, but I really think Keldrick Fall could be a top 15 pick just based on the intangibles, the size, the athleticism, the run defense. Like he just has to grow as a pass rusher. He would go somewhere where he's not asked to be a day one starter. He would just be the third guy behind Chase Young and Carl Granderson, and honestly, he fits the Cam Jordan role pretty damn well on Staley's defense. So I think we're actually going to send it with Keldrick Falk here. Saints fans, please forgive me. I'm not the highest on Falk. He's like 40 on my big board, but in all likeliness, he's probably going to be a top 15, top 20 pick. So it's like he's got to go somewhere, guys. All right, 13 for the Rams. I'll just go ahead and say it's not going to be Monroe Freeling. I think that's one of the dumbest picks possible. Like Warren McClendon was awesome last year. Alaric Jackson makes so much money and is a good left tackle. Where's he going to play? Are you getting rid of Warren McClendon after a career year when he's still on a good contract? Like I just don't think there's a lot of thought that goes into the pick when it is Monroe Freeling here. Like Spencer Fondo, I can understand because he can potentially even play center. But like, oh, I guess the Rams do have a third round pick. Oh, they traded a future third. That's right. Nick. I would consider moving up with the Lions. Monroe Freeling's on the board. He feels like a great option for Detroit to start at left tackle. It's like once he's gone, are you comfortable with Caden Proctor or Caleb Lomu? I don't know. I don't know, Jim. Like, what would it take for the Lions? I don't think it's going to be super expensive in this move up. Like, it might not even be like capital really this year. Like, maybe you give up 118, which is fine because you got 128. Maybe you give up 181 and then get back 252 and send your third next year. Like, it's four spots in the first round. The Rams pick up a fourth round pick. They need picks in the middle of the draft. They move 250 up about 70 spots, and then they get a third round pick that they lost from trading for McDuffie. But then again, like Makai Lemon's gonna go before 17. Like the Jets will take him. So I don't even think I can afford to trade here if I'm the Los Angeles Rams. I think I just have to take Makai Lemon, and it is what it is on the draft capital. Maybe you move back from 61 to the mid 70s and pick up a fourth and a fifth or something. All right, 14 for the Baltimore Ravens. I really like the idea of Kenyon Sadiq. I know it's not a popular option, but I think he would be a great fit. Declan Doyle's going to use two tight ends in his offense. The Ravens tend to do it as is. So it's like he's going to play and he's going to make plays for you. And Mark Andrews is 30. Like, I think it should be considered a serious option. It's probably just going to be Vega Ioane. I can't trust that interior offensive line. Jesse Mentor has made it a emphasis that he wants to address interior or the trenches in the draft. So yeah, I think we just go Venga Ioane out of Penn State here to upgrade Andrew Voorhees at guard. 15 for the Tampa Bay Bucks. It's almost at this point like someone's probably moving up to jump the Lions for Monroe Freeling. So who might that be? Dude, the Steelers. Like, oh, Dylan Cook looked good. Dylan Cook played like he didn't play that much and he was solid. Roderick Jones, I'm pretty much out at this point. He can't stay healthy and he hasn't been very good. Monroe Freeling to move back to right tackle and sit for a year behind Lane Johnson is like incredibly tempting for the Eagles. And I'm actually going to call Tampa because they do have two third round picks. So I know it won't be used in this mock draft, but like 23 and 68 is probably a already pretty good bargaining deal, and you probably already have them on the fence. We'll throw 137, or you know what? We'll send 178 your way and give us back 229. I think I'll give you a future fifth too. Is that enough? I mean, that's damn near a second round pick. That's a extremely early third to move back 8 spots. All right, we'll send a fourth. That's my final offer deal. Okay, let's move forward. And yeah, like I said, the Eagles did move up to get in front of the Lions to select Monroe Freeling out of Georgia. Hey, they already love their Georgia Bulldogs. So yeah, I mean, Monroe makes a lot of sense to come in. Lane Johnson hasn't been able to stay healthy as of recently, so he'll probably play 5 or 6 games next year if I had to bet anyways. And yeah, he's your long-term right tackle. All right, 16 for the New York Jets. I want a playmaker. Like Ty Simpson, definitely I think could be considered here, and I think there's a shot he could go. I'd rather just trade up to the back end of the first, get the 5th-year option on him, and if someone wants to go ahead and grab him, by all means, he's all yours at that point. I'm going to go with Omar Cooper Jr. out of Indiana. And yes, I know Jordan Tyson's on the board. Jordan Tyson still is having hamstring injuries. That's pretty scary stuff, man. I mean, it's been a while since he hurt that thing. So the fact it's still not good and it's still flaring up, like, that's not good in my opinion. And I mean, the Jets are more so looking for a yak receiver to begin with. That's why we love Mekhi Lemon to him. Omar Cooper's the next best option for that role in the slot. So that's why I go Cooper anyways. All right, 17 for the Lions. Do the Lions just go to their next tackle or do they look elsewhere? Edge rusher, like I do like TJ Parker and Akeem Mesidor. I don't think, I mean, they could go this high. I mean, I'd take Akeem at 15 sometimes, so it's definitely possible. Hayden Proctor is very tempting. Like the ceiling is just so high. The Lions develop offensive line well as it is. Like you really have my attention there. How many trades have we done? We did 5 and 9, 8 and 12, and 15 and 23. That we're only at three. I try to stay anywhere from 4 to 6 typically when I do trades. I wouldn't mind someone moving up here for Kenyon Sadiq potentially, or Jermod McCoy. I don't know if I can do it. I don't think there's any team that's going to do it. So we're just going to swing on the upside at tackle. And I mean, the Lions themselves could consider Jermod McCoy, but we're going to go Caden Proctor out of Alabama to hopefully get our left tackle of the future. Number 18 for the Minnesota Vikings. Everyone loves Dylan Thieneman. I love Dylan Thieneman. I have a top 15 grade on Dylan Thieneman. The thing is, no matter how good safeties are, they for some reason just do not go high in the NFL draft. If you think a guy should go top five, they're probably going around pick 15. Like Minka is really the one that was an anomaly. He was pick 11. But other than that, like who else? I think Jamal Adams went pretty high. He was what, six maybe? Like they just typically don't go high. Like you might say, oh, Kyle Hamilton went 14, Derwin went 13. Some people thought Kyle Hamilton and Derwin James were the best overall players in their draft. Nicky Memori and Malachi Starks, I both had top 15 grades on both of them. And I know a lot of people had top 20 grades on them. They didn't go to what, 27 and 35? They typically do go later. I'm going to look to the cornerback position. You have Byron Murphy, who I think is best in the nickel, but you have Isaiah Rogers, who is best in the nickel. You brought in James Pierre on a decent deal. I think Jermod McCoy makes a lot of sense here if he is healthy to just get that big boundary corner that is just a dog. I mean, his 2024 tape is arguably better than any player in this class's 2025 tape. So the fact he's here at 18, I think, is a blessing itself, and we'll go ahead and take him. All right, 19 for the Panthers. Panthers have good draft capital, so it's not like you need to move back. You're missing a seventh, but you have extra fifth. That's a win in my book. And you need playmakers. So I'm sorry, Panther fans, for the millionth time. Kenyon Sadiq just feels like he should be a Panther. I think there's a real shot Sadiq goes way before 19, like the Ravens at 14 held the Bucks, the Chiefs, the Dolphins potentially. Like there's a lot of spot. The Bengals he could land at. Tight ends have been going higher. Colston Loveland, Tyler Warren, Brock Bowers. No, Brock Bowers probably some people thought was going to be a top five pick. He went 13, but especially Warren and Loveland went 10 and 14, which was pretty good for their value. So, yeah, Sadiq could be gone by this point. So if he is here, I think it's a awesome pickup for the offense. 20 for the Saints went Keldrick Falk. I'll try to do something you like a little bit more here, Saints fans. And I think this could be a very good spot to replace Alante Taylor potentially. This is going to be your last pick of the mock. I would like to get Shuck a weapon, but I just don't know. Like Jordan Tyson's medicals, he would be a good fit, but I don't know if I want to pair another receiver that struggles to stay healthy with Chris Olave out of all people. Denzel Boston, I simply don't think should go this high. Kevin Concepcion, Casey Concepcion, I think is an awesome option. He's got a lot of what I'm looking for. He's a boundary receiver. He's got a lot of speed. I mean, Devon Vele is the size, and like I said, I wanted either size or speed. Casey, I mean, it does feel a little early for me at 20. And I think the value at corner is so good, I just have to go Avion Terrell. He's got nickel and boundary flexibility, and so does Quincy Riley. So you can rotate those guys inside and outside. They can play multiple positions if one of them gets injured. And Avion Terrell is just a dog, man. I mean, to me, he feels like he'll be a top 25 pick, in my opinion. So I think the Saints is a pretty good option to replace Alontae Taylor, considering I would say he has a pretty similar skill set. 21 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. KC Concepcion is probably the only thing I'm looking at wide receiver. I'm looking for a slot guy. And like I said, he can play on the boundary. He's good on the boundary, but he can also be effective in the slot because of the speed. Emmanuel Pregnon, I guess I would also be considering here to be your next left guard. Caleb Lomu, I'm really considering because he can play left tackle or left guard. And I mean, I'm not too confident your left tackle of the future is on roster, so I'll keep that in the back of my mind. Colton Hood, I think, is a very good scheme fit for Pittsburgh. Just a physical press corner, but you did bring in Jamel Dean, so it's like you do that. Linebacker, I'm not considering here, in my opinion. You have so many draft picks, you probably don't trade. I think I'm going to go Caleb Lomu. I've never really went with Caleb Lomu to the Steelers too often, but I think it could be a real option with how the board fell. I think Lomu could potentially project better as a guard than what he was as a tackle in college, and he was a pretty good tackle. So it's like this just gives you a lot of options for the future. I would say start Caleb Lomu at left guard year one. And if you strike gold, awesome. But if Broderick Jones goes down, then you move Lomu to left tackle or Dylan Cook. I don't know. Maybe you like Lomu more than Dylan Cook at tackle, and Lomu gets a shot at tackle when he kills it. Okay, then he's your left tackle. At the end of the day, I think he's going to be a long term starter on the left side of your offensive line. All right, 22 for the Chargers. Is there any way to get away from my favorite pick of TJ Parker? Because he feels like a perfect Odafe Owe replacement on the defensive line, which is important in my opinion because Odafe Owe was so effective in that three edge rusher room last year when he got traded to LA. Also, I would love to trade here. I just don't know if there's anyone worth trading up. I love Dylan Thieneman. Seahawks don't have the picks, or I would love to get him as a Kobe Bryant replacement. The Browns are a couple picks away, and at this point, with how offensive line has fallen, you're probably not going to take one here. So it's like, could we see a little two pick jump from the Cleveland Browns? I don't think it's going to cost too much. I mean, like, and they got multiple picks in the same area, so like 146, 248, and then maybe their own fifth rounder next year. I think that's a solid deal for the Chargers because they need more day three picks this year, and they get a future pick. So you know what? At the end of the day, it's two spot, but the Chargers would rather have the Browns fit. So deal's a deal. And yeah, like I said, Cleveland is going to move up to grab Dylan Thieneman to pair with Cardinal Tate here. I'm not saying the Bucks were a big threat, but someone else could have also traded up, so you just prevent anyone else from making the move. And I would say you need another starting safety. Ronnie Hickman's back on the second round tender for 5 mil. Grant Delpit's a solid player, but Dylan Thieneman can be a game changer in that secondary. So I'd definitely be willing to pay that price, and maybe we'll get lucky and a tackle will fall to us at 39. But with the way they're going off the board, I wouldn't bank on it. 23 for the Bucks. Like I said, my favorite pick is Akeem Mesidor to the Buccaneers. It just feels like a good thing for Todd Bowles, considering his job is in jeopardy every single season at this point. Hell, if the Bucks started like 0-3, 0-4, 2-6, 2-5, he probably loses his job early in the year. So you need a dominant pass rusher that can help Yaya Diaby and Al Qaeda Muhammad day one. Akeem Mesidor is your guy, regardless of the age. And in this world, you move back and got some extra capital as well to help you. All right, back on the board for the Chargers. Like I said, I do like TJ Parker a lot, but I think I'm going to go Emmanuel Pregnon. I tend not to like the guard options at 55 too much, so I'd rather just go ahead and grab a starting guard to start day one at left guard next to Tyler Biotish and Rashawn Slater. 25 for the Bears. I think it's a blessing. All the interior defense alignment are available at this point. And for the Bears in specific, I think you can afford to gamble on Peter Woods. I mean, Peter Woods' 23 and 24 tape is like Jermiah McCoy's 24 tape. It's arguably the best in the class out of any player. But Peter Woods played in 2025, and he wasn't very good. And he lost like 25 or 30 pounds, and he still wasn't very athletic at his pro day. His measurables weren't great. He didn't test out at the combine. So it's like he has a lot not going in his favor. And if he would have had a replication of, let's say, 2024, even though 23 was probably his best year, he's probably a top five pick in the draft. So it's like the upside is clearly there, but he is not really going in the right trajectory as you would hope for a prospect would throughout their collegiate career. All right, 26 for the Buffalo Bills. I want to get a game changer on the offense, and I know people are going to be screaming for Jordan Tyson. Like I said, I think it's a possibility he could fall because of injury, because the man struggles to stay healthy, and it's been that way pretty much his whole collegiate career. So I'm going to go Casey Concepcion, DJ Moore, yak receiver. Khalil Shakir, yak receiver. AC Concepcion, speed, game changer on the outside. I think they could definitely use that. Maybe they get cold feet for like a Denzel Boston because of the failures of Keon Coleman. So they change their philosophy a little bit and get more speed in the receiver room for Josh Allen. All right, 27 for the 49ers. It almost feels like you got to roll the dice on Jordan Tyson. Like, his offensive line, Pregnon's not there. Do you feel good about Blake Miller moving from right to left tackle? He has 100 snaps of experience. I don't. I want to get a playmaker, but it's like, would the Niners run the risk? I mean, it's like damn near they need Jordan Tyson so bad. And also for the Bills pick, people are probably already bitching about it in the comments. Why would the Bills would never pass on Jordan Tyson for KC Concepcion? You're an idiot. I watched them last year pass on Will Johnson for Maxwell Hairston because of injury concern and upside for speed. So don't say never because they have shown in the past they are willing to do it. So I want to throw that out there. This is really not an intriguing pick for the Niners, and you don't have a third round pick. So maybe you just move back here, and this could be the spot for Ty Simpson. Granted, you can't get the third here. I don't think you're going to give them to your division rival in the Cardinals. So it's like I don't think you're going to see a 44 and 58 swap. I think it would have to be 103. Give me 228 as well. And I'm not done. I mean, I also need a third next year because the Giants did a similar trade from 34 to 25. It costed them a third and a third next year. This is going to be a fourth, a seventh, and a future three, which considering who you're trading with, I think that's probably a pretty good deal for the Niners. So yeah, I think I'm going to accept this. I know it's a weaker class. Getting 103 and 228 won't blow your socks off, but like it's not bad capital in the future three. Like that's probably a top 75 pick next year. So I'm not too mad at it. And like I said, the Jets are going to move up to take the shot on Ty Simpson. They already got a weapon on the offense. They already had two weapons. And now you get the fifth year option on the quarterback out of Alabama in Ty Simpson. Dan Orlovsky would have taken Ty Simpson number 2 overall. Number 28 for the Houston Texans. Linebacker and D tackles where my head's at, and I think with Caden McDonald on the board, it becomes an easy pick. You need a big nose tackle to stuff up the run game in the middle. Caden McDonald's your guy. And I think Caden McDonald could go as high as like 18 to the Vikings. Probably even higher than that. Like 13 to the Rams could be a sneaky, like Puna Ford long term replacement fit. All right, 29 for the Chiefs. I moved up for Ruben Bain Jr., fifth overall. The right tackles, I mean, they're clearly not going to last till 74, and this is really your last impact pick. So, do I want to get a right tackle of the future or a starting corner? We need starting corners. I'm going to go Colton Hood out of Tennessee. I think he'd be a pretty good fit for Spags defense. So, two game changers on the defense for the Chiefs in round one. 30 for my Miami Dolphins. Got Spencer Fano, starting right guard in 2026, long term right tackle. I'd like some pass rush help. PJ Parker being here is actually like perfect. And I think he might be the pick. I mean, I'll still look around like Emmanuel McNeil Warren, be nice at safety. Brandon Cisse and Chris Johnson, nice at corner. Maybe one of them fall to 43. Jordan Tyson, I've already talked about. I don't see the Dolphins taking that risk. Denzel Boston, big wide receiver. You're kind of looking for one of those. I think TJ Parker's just too good to pass on. I mean, another one like Peter Woods was thought to be a top 5 pick entering the year. Didn't have the greatest year, but he's still a fringe first. If he's here at the back end of the first, I just say overhaul the trenches and grab TJ Parker to pair with Chop, Josh Uche, Robert Beal, and David Ajapo. All right, 31 for the Patriots. I really like the right tackle pick here with Blake Miller or Maxi Iheanacho. Either one's fine. Neither one will have to start in 2026. Then they can be your long-term Morgan Moses replacements in 2027. So yeah, I like both options a lot. Which one do I prefer? I can also look elsewhere. Like the Patriots could use edge help. I think 63 is a really good pick to take an edge in this draft. So I would pass right here. Jordan Tyson's awesome, but I think at this point he's going to fall to the second round due to injury concerns. And yeah, I think we're just gonna. I mean, the Patriots could really use like a Jordan Tyson on the offense. And at this point, like you're trying to win a Super Bowl, you got to take risks. I think I'm going to go Jordan Tyson at the back end of the first to the New England Patriots. I mean, that's pretty damn good. You lose a Super Bowl, which it's not good you lost, but you were in the Super Bowl, then you turn around and get potentially a top five talent in the draft at 31 because of injury concerns. And I've seen Mike Vrabel take plenty of players in Tennessee with injury concerns. The greatest example would be first round pick Caleb Farley to me. So it's not unfamiliar for him to do stuff like this. All right, 32 for the Seahawks. Another good spot to move down. I don't know if there's a player anybody's moving up for at this point. Like, I guess Blake Miller, maybe the Texans could move up to get the right tackle. I think they feel good that him or Ian Ocher will fall. Yeah, I don't think you're going to find a partner here. Emmanuel McNeil Warren can be that deep safety. He's not really a Kobe Bryant replacement, like in that type of role. So it's like maybe you don't do that. I think I'm going to go Zion Young here. And I am. I'm a big time fan of Zion Young. If you are familiar with my content, you know that I have a top 20 grade on Zion Young in the draft. So if he's here at 32, I think the value to me is worth it. And I mean, yeah, you lost Boye Mafe, and that's a big loss off the edge. So go ahead, grab Zion Young, 6'5", 265 pounds, can defend the run, great pass rusher as well. He really doesn't have a flaw in his game. I don't understand why he isn't getting more first round love. All right, 33 to kick off the second round for the 49ers. We picked up 103 and some future capital, as y'all saw. Like I said, I don't want to move one of these guys to left tackle. Still looking for a playmaker. I think Chris Bell would be a sneaky great fit on the offense. Denzel Boston feels like he does a lot similar to Mike Evans in terms of like role on the offense. So I don't know if I want two of those guys. I think instead, and it's been a while since this guy's went this high, we're gonna go Cassius Howell out of Texas A&M. So damn near got in the first round. He just feels like a perfect fit for Raheem Morris's defense. You saw all the success Raheem had with James Pierce Jr. last year in Atlanta. You lost Bryce Huff, who retired. So yeah, you need a third guy behind Michael and Nick Bosa, and preferably a DPR type of guy for your defense. That's just how he's your guy. I mean, that's the perfect role for him is like, oh, you want me to come in and just rush the passer? Huh, watch this. I'm going to get you 12 sacks as a rookie. So big time pass rush upgrade for the 49ers. 34 for the Arizona Cardinals. Got France Noah. Edge, I would consider, I think 65, you can get a solid one, so I'll pass. Ty Simpson's not here. D tackle, I would also consider you get a big freak like Caleb Banks on the interior. Christian Miller, as y'all know, I love. You need a starting linebacker, though, and I'm going to go Jacob Rodriguez, who is my linebacker too behind Sonny Styles. I mean, he doesn't have a flaw. His biggest knock we always had. Oh, he's not that athletic. His RAS score was over 9 at the combine, so clearly we were all wrong on that. So I have no problem taking Rodriguez at the top of the second. Hell, I could take him at the back end of the first personally. 35 for the Tennessee Titans. Got David Bailey. Denzel Boston's kind of what I'm looking for in a playmaker. I'm looking for a big boundary receiver opposite of Al Maynor. I think Calvin Ridley and Wandale will both preferably be in the slot a lot. So Boston brings that big physicality weapon on the outside for Cam Ward. 36 for the Raiders. Got Fernando Mendoza at number one, believe it or not. I think we're just going to go Christian Miller here. You need some game changers on the interior of the defense line. It's really not a good group at all. The edges are good. D tackle, though, not good. Christian Miller is very flexible. He's a great run defender. I think he's a very good pass rusher as well. I know he didn't have a sack this past year, but he had like a 13% win rate, which is really good for a D tackle. So, yeah, I feel perfectly fine taking Miller at 36. 37 for the Giants went Caleb Downs at 9. John Harbaugh's never had a problem drafting players injured, and it's not like you really need him to play day one. Do I want to improve the offensive line, though? Nah, I want another weapon for Jackson Dart. I don't trust Darnell Mooney and Calvin Austin that much. So we are going to go Chris Bell out of Louisville, and I get Chris Bell towards ACL in November. What I think a lot of y'all forget is Chris Bell was a solidified first round pick at that time. So It's like getting him at 37 is pretty good value for your pick. So yeah, I have no problem scooping up Bell here at 37 to get that big fast boundary option that you really do not have in New York currently. All right, 38 for the Texans. I said I think one of the right tackles would be available. They're both available. I'm going to go ahead and scoop up Blake Miller out of Clemson. Yeah, he's not going to play year one. You got Braden Smith. You brought Trent Brown back. I think there's a chance both of those guys are gone as soon as next year. And I mean, Trent Brown absolutely in this world would not be brought back next year. And Braden Smith might not either, considering how he looks. He struggled to stay healthy in Indianapolis recently. That just, I think, comes with older age. He's like 33 at this point. So, yeah, we're going to grab Blake Miller. 39 for the Browns. Got Cardinal Tate, got Dylan Thieneman. Man, I hate to do this to such a young player, but then again, Titus Howard can play left tackle. So we're going to go Maxi and Notcher out of Arizona State here. And potentially, you're just going to have a camp battle between him and Dewan Jones for a starting tackle spot. And if he's looking better, I would say you put Titus on the left side. Titus probably takes snaps on both sides in camp to figure out which guy looks better. And yeah, you just go forward. All right, 40 for the Giants. I low key forgot I even had this pick. You got Caleb Downs, you got Chris Bell. You could use some linebacker talent. Like you really need some help, in my opinion. CJ Allen, I think, really might fall a good bit because of his because he's so stiff. His knee is still flaring up and swelling a lot. He's not good in pass coverage. Like I'm just not a big CJ Allen fan, to be honest. Jake Golday is like an athletic freak, but so is like Tremaine Edmonds. So it's like kind of do just want that steady linebacker. And I mean, CJ Allen's thought to be a first round pick to a lot of people. So I guess realistically, he very well could be a good option for the Giants. He's just not a personal favorite for me. 41 for the Bengals got Mansour Delane. Man, Emmanuel McNeil Warren's here. Like Caleb Banks is also here. And I think the Bengals would love Caleb Banks. And I think I get you got Chris Jenkins, you got TJ Slayton, you got BJ Hill, you got Jonathan Allen. They love freak athletes. I'm going to go Caleb Banks. I know we're all saying they need a safety. They need Emmanuel McNeil Warren. The Bengals aren't that smart. And we all know they aren't that smart. So they're going to see this big freak athlete and be like, oh, see here, we probably would have taken him 10th overall. So, yeah, that's how Caleb Banks ends up in Cincinnati. 42 for the Cowboys got Sonny Styles. Hell, man. I mean, McNeil Warren's a great option, but I don't think I can pass on Braden Cisse. You need a starting corner so desperately, and he's sitting here. I just don't know how you could even justify passing on him here. 43 from the Dolphins got Fano, got TJ Parker. I do think Chris Brazzell would be a very good fit for like the Christian Watson role on the offense. That secondary is terrible. I'm just going to go Emmanuel McNeil Warren. And biased Dolphin fan, he made him fall. I promise you I didn't. A lot of the time I take McNeil Warren in the first round. But like I said, safeties can fall. So in result of Dylan Thieneman falling a little bit, that's how McNeil Warren got pushed down the board. So he happens to be here, and I think it'd be a steal for the Dolphins at 43. 44 for the Jets. Got Arvell Reese, got Omar Cooper, got Ty Simpson. I need some starting guard competition because right now it's not looking good. I'm going to go Chase Bisontis out of Texas A&M here. He can start at left guard, Titman at center, and then Dylan Parham at right guard. 45 for the Ravens went Vega Ioane. I'm going to be very intrigued to see the feedback on this pick because I've been trying to push running backs up the board, and I think Jadarian Price could be a great option for Baltimore. I've talked about this on live before, but man, you talk about a change of pace back with Derrick Henry, who's going to be 33 years old this year, and it's going to keep Derrick Henry fresh throughout the regular season so he can have a heavy workload in the playoffs because you should be in the playoffs and he's your long term running back, and you don't have a good backup. I don't get what there's not to like here for the Ravens. I mean, some people, Daniel Jeremiah, are trying to push Jadarian Price to the back end of the first. So if he's here at 45, I would certainly consider it to have a two-headed monster in the backfield. All right, 46 for the Bucks. Got Akeem Mesidor. I want some linebacker help next to Alex Anzalone, and Christian Rosemoom is not going to be that for me. I'm going to go Jake Golday and just get an awesome athlete in the second level of the defense that can roam around the field and make plays. 47 for the Indianapolis Colts, another team. I want a linebacker. And Anthony Hill Jr.'s upside in athleticism, I think, would speak to Chris Ballard pretty heavily. They gutted their linebacker room, and it's probably the worst in football currently. So, with your first pick in the draft here, I think it probably just has to be one of these good linebackers. 48 for the Atlanta Falcons. We're going to sprint the card in on Lee Hunter. They need a true nose tackle to pair with Ruka Rororo and Brandon Dorless. Lee Hunter's your guy. He's not a great athlete, but that's the only reason he's even available at this point. Or if he was somewhat a better athlete, hell, he could still potentially be a first round pick at the end of the day. So if he's here, what are we talking? What are we talking about? 49 for the Vikings got Jermod McCoy. I would consider like Jennings Dunker here to kick into center. Lee Hunter would have been the dream. He gets sniped right in front of us. Grayson Halton school, Big Citrus is cool. I would also consider double dipping in the secondary, potentially like AJ Halsey. I think is a really fun option. Connor Liu, I'd consider at center. I think teams are really going to like Jennings Dunker, and he probably will go pretty high. I don't have him anywhere near here. I don't even have a top 75 grade on him, but it just feels like a player that probably goes in the second round into a center needy team. I think they could like a lot. Dunker's got good arm length, good athlete as well, good run blocker. So I think he probably fits well to replace Ryan Kelly at center. 50 for the Detroit Lions. I need to get a dominant pass rusher in this unit. I'm going to go with Derek Moore out of Michigan. You get the storyline of keeping him in Michigan, which is cool. But he's also my highest ranked edge rusher left on the board. He's a great pass rusher at 11 sacks this past year. He's a pretty good run defender as well. Built well, 6'4, 255, and dominated at the Senior Bowl. So if he's here at 50, I would say sprint the card in Lions. 51 for the Panthers, got Kenyon Sadiq. Man, Chris Johnson is such a good player, but he's just not a great fit for what I'm looking here for the Panthers. D'Angelo Ponds is a great fit because I'm looking for a dominant nickel corner. Hal Lewis is also a good idea, but I'm going to go D Ponds out of Indiana here. And at 52, I will sprint the card in on Chris Johnson right behind them and say, thank you, Carolina. God bless you. We needed a boundary corner in Green Bay, and we got our guy. 53 for the Steelers. Took Caleb Lomu at 21. I'm going to go get that speed slot receiver I was talking about, and that's going to be Zachariah Branch out of Georgia. I'm a lot higher on Zachariah Branch than most. I think he's a better player than Casey Concepcion, and you'll see that in my wide receiver rankings, and I'm going to stand on that. But yeah, I mean, if he's here at 53, I honestly think it's pretty good value for him. So yeah, go ahead, take the card in, and get a really fast, dynamic playmaker in your slot on the offense. 54 for the Eagles got Monroe Freeling via trade up to play right tackle of the future. AJ Halsey at safety, I think, is too good to be true to replace Reed Blankenship, so we'll go ahead and run the card in there. I have a top 40 grade on AJ Halsey. I think he's severely underrated. Awesome player. Tape is great. Hard hitter, ball hawk, 8 interceptions over the past 2 years. I can go on all night long about AJ Halsey. All right, 55. Got Emmanuel Pregnon. I want to grab that edge to replace Odafe Owe. I think Malachi Lawrence could be a very fun idea. He's a great athlete. He's a similar build to Owe as well. So yeah, I think we're going to bank on the upside here and go with Malachi Lawrence to be our third guy in LA. And hopefully he can develop a lot under Khalil Mack. 56 for the Jaguars. Jaguars got shit safeties. Linebackers aren't good. D tackles aren't great. Like Kyle Lewis, I think, plays a too similar role to Foye Ludicune, so I'd probably be looking at Josiah Trotter, just a very instinctive player, very good around the line of scrimmage, similar to Devin Lloyd, honestly. Just needs to grow in pass coverage, and that's going to take time and snaps on the football field to do. So we'll reward him. I mean, you're going to be a starting linebacker here, my man. So let's run it. 57 for the Bears. The thing that wakes Dennis Allen up every morning to get up for the day is power on the defensive line, and Gabe Akis has plenty of that. So to upgrade Deo here at 57, and Austin Booker is a good third guy. I don't know if he'll ever be a full-time starter, but man, Gabe Akis is he's a monster truck off the edge. A lot of power in his game, a lot of physicality, and I think that's what Chicago's missing. And you get to keep him in Illinois, which is cool. 58 for the 49ers. Got Cassius Howe at 33, and Chris Brazel was honestly my dream pick here if he fell, and he did fall. So I'll go ahead and run the card in to get my dynamic playmaker on the boundary with a ton of speed. 59 for Texans. Got Caden Proctor, got Blake Miller. I think I'm going to get some center competition. I mean, all the centers are available. So I think I go Connor Liu here out of Auburn to just go ahead and get some competition for Jake Andrews at the position. You need competition all over the offensive line. I'm happy how you've went about free agency, but yeah, Connor Liu would be a great pickup for the interior. 60 for the Bears. Got Peter Woods, got Gabe Akis. if you want a second trade in second Kobe Bryant, trade in Stooks is available potentially. I wouldn't mind receiver. And I know that might sound crazy, but you lost DJ Moore. With the guy, I get he got phased out anyways, but like a guy like Malachi Fields could be a very good third option for the offense. Big physical body on the outside, Luther Burden in the slot. I would like some speed, so maybe you try to wait and hope Ted Hurst falls or Antonio Williams, Bryce Lance as well. What do we want to do here? Center competition for Bradbury wouldn't be bad either. You need another safety though. I think my guy's trading Stooks. He can play in the nickel. He can play safety. Like I said, he's like a one-on-one comp for me of Kobe Bryant, who is now in Chicago. So you potentially have two Kobe Bryants on the field that can rotate. So two very good football players that can play in the nickel, can play up top, which I think is pretty valuable considering your whole safety room left in free agency. 61 for the Rams. Got Makai Lemon. I'm going to grab Kyle Lewis, he's my favorite fit for the Rams. I mean, everything Omar Spates can't do on defense, Kyle Lewis can do, and everything Kyle Lewis can't do, Omar Spates can do. So it's like a perfect marriage of two players put together. 62 for the Broncos. I'm looking to replace John Franklin Myers here, and Grayson Halton is a dog out of Oklahoma. I have a top 60 grade on him as a player, so if he's here, the value checks out to me, and he's pretty good for the Franklin Myers role. 63 for the Patriots. Like I said, my thought process here was to grab a pass rusher, and I think I'm down to roll the dice on Joshua Josephs. I mean, he's really lengthy, really light in the ass, though. 240 pounds for a pass rusher, needs to add like 15 pounds. He's a hell of an athlete. He's got good bend. He had like a 34% true win rate at Tennessee, so pretty productive as well. And he's going to be used as a DPR for behind Harold Landry and Draymond Jones, which I like a lot, kind of like what Kayvon Chason was doing last year. 64 for the Seahawks got Zion Young. Trading Stooks would have been my guy, but I think another guy that could be pretty similar would be Keontae Scott out of Miami to end off this 2 round mock to take the Kobe Bryant role of probably just moving full time back to safety next to Julian Love. So I feel pretty good about that. Great player, ready to make impact day one. So two big upgrades on the Seattle defense. But yeah, man, that is going to be the 2 round mock. A lot of good players left on the board. I hate to see like Keith Abney here or Mason Thomas. I'm kind of fine with a couple of tight ends, but yeah, that is going to do it. It's a pretty good class. There's a lot of depth from really like pick 40 to 100. So players are going to fall, and they do every year. So let me know how you feel in the comments, and appreciate all of y'all that did watch the full video. And until next time, peace out.